Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, Brother Brand Ambassador. And it's a new week, and we have some fabulous shows for you. And you know what today is? Countdown to next week when Brother reveals all of the new items coming out for fall. Well, for this year. It's always the big event, right? So I saw in our last chats, people were trying to guess what's coming. Well, you'll just have to wait. Let's see, 6 more days? 6 more days. Next Monday is when you'll know. In the meantime, May Flaum is here with a super fun project, and you know, the Scan and Cut. Awesome. All right, so May, how's it going?
It's going great. Hi, good to be here. Good to see everybody.
It is so nice to see you. And I was thinking of you today because I recall maybe around January, you did some organizing things and some tips for that. And if you saw the rest of my studio right now, I'm busy with a bunch of projects, but there's so many. All I could think of when I saw you were on the show today, I was like, oh, I got to go back and watch May's video to label everything so I can find it later.
You know what? That's so true. And actually, speaking of labels, that's something you could do with what we're going to be working on today.
Oh, very exciting. What are you doing today?
Yeah. So today I was going back through and I realized one of the things that we've never done is we have never worked with sticker paper. We've done vinyl, and so it's the same idea, but specifically like what kind of things could you do making your own stickers with the Scan and Cut? So I'm going to walk everybody through that today and then give you some ideas of like, well, why would I want my own stickers or what could I do with my own stickers?
So would this be kind of relatable to the super expensive stickers that I just bought for my nieces because they love stickers everywhere? Could this be used for the same thing?
Oh, sure. Sure. The big thing to remember, and I always say this with the Scan and Cut, whether it's fabric, paper, stickers, whatever you're trying to cut out, you have to give it a line to follow. That's the only rule with whatever we're cutting out. There has to be a clear line that it can follow. So if you're trying to do, there are some stickers that you might need to physically draw an outline and then have that be scanned in and have that be what you work from. You might need to do that. I know that there's a lot of digital ways to do that as well. There's ways to get really fancy with like register marks so you can line things up just so and cut things just so. We're going to stay simple for today for everybody who, you know, maybe this is your first time or maybe you're just kind of thinking about this. And the cool thing to me is you could use labels. Like I know some people are probably going to notice like things are reorganized in here, things moved around again. And that's something where when I move things around or if I have different shelves or different containers, a lot of times I like to put labels on, you know, like just so I don't have to open them all and see, you know, which one is the embroidery floss. It just says cool colors embroidery floss. Okay, that's all the cool, you know, or neutrals or whatever it might be. So I can get to all my supplies and see where they are. And you know, I love the P-Touch for that. That's a really great tool and really good. But what if you want it bigger? What if you want not tape? What if you want like a bigger label or a bigger sticker or mark of some kind? That's where the Scan and Cut comes in, because obviously up to 3 millimeters means all kinds of vinyl, yes, but also sticker paper. I found some really cool like holographic sticker paper that you can print on, that I could print things on and then cut that out. So we could get pretty fancy with this if we want to. Also, of course, with those kinds of materials, there will be waterproof, matte finish, glossy finish, you know, you can, all the finishes, right? All the different things that we could do with that. So since we've got so many options, what I figured was today I would share with everybody like how you would do it or what you might want to do with making stickers and get everybody started.
That sounds, I'm excited for this one. I'm always excited for your show, but I'm really excited for this just because I know how much they cost and I want to make my own. So take it away, May.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll start over at the Scan and Cut. I will show you a couple of ones that are done here. So like here's some labels, right? So here's some like little, so these could be for my planner, for my scrapbook, for whatever, but these are some stamps that I stamped and cut that out, and we'll add that onto the sticker paper so I can show you that as well. And then I also have, this is the sticker paper, and the only thing that I don't love about this particular sticker paper is both sides look and feel identical. So you might have to peel and figure out which side is backing, which side is sticker. And if you have to do that, I would recommend obviously do it before you get started, before you're printing. But I'll put a little mark. In this case, I just used a pen to make a little pink S for sticker. So I know this is the sticker side. Now what I did here, I printed out a star and I printed out strawberry jam label because, I mean, here comes fall, right? So canning, all kinds of good canning season stuff if you wanted to make your own labels. And of course, the holidays sneaking up, you could make your own gift tags, all kinds of different options there. And I just did, just within the computer, very simple lines here for these two. You could get very complex, right? So we could download SVG files. We could design our own. We could purchase really fancy sticker sheets or digital sheets that we print out. We could do any of that. I've got some ink pad here because another way you could do this is if you had a stamp version of a label. You could certainly use that. And I'm just going to stamp these guys over here. Woo, it wants to stick. That sometimes can happen where the ink and the rubber thing, or I guess those are silicone or whatever they are, but they want to stick together. So if they're trying to stick together, you might have to help break them apart. But so here's two different ways that you could do it. Printing or stamping. You could hand draw. In fact, we can do that. Let's see. We just need to see where my pen is. Sometimes my black pens all run away at the same time. So we could also make ourselves our own label. And obviously we're going for speed here, right? We're live, we're doing our thing. So let's say I wanted to make my own scallop tags. And let's say if we weren't live and I wasn't just trying to demonstrate this, I might take a little more time or get a little more precise there. But let's say I wanted to do something with my own hand doodled label, or maybe a kid's drawing would be cute too. Anything like that. So all kinds of different things going on, but the Scan and Cut does not care how we came across it, right? It does not care how we went about this. This is a standard mat, but this is a standard mat that I have been using for a while, so it is not fully sticky. And I point that out only because I know we always get asked what mats. This would work with a low tack mat as well, as most of the thin materials do. I'm just trying to give it a little press there just to make sure we don't have any bubbles or we don't have it, it's not too lifting up or anything. All right, so let's move you down here, Scan and Cut. Okay. So from here, we would go to Scan. And I always remind this Scan to Cut data is when we want to create a cut file to use on something else. Direct cut, like the picture shows, means please cut out exactly what I have here. I always just save to machine. And this is showing me that this is in grayscale mode versus color. And since this is literally black and white, we do not need color. Although I will tell you a little trick here. Every once in a while, if you end up with something that maybe something didn't quite turn out the way you wanted it to turn out, or maybe something, is not quite the way it ought to be, a lot of times what you can do is switch that scan mode. So you can go on here where we were scanning. You can go on here and switch from black and white to grayscale or to color, or vice versa if it's not quite working for you. Now what we see here, I can see all my lines. I'm just going to say okay. And you can see it looks like it's identified our lines, except if we look here, and that's just fine because we can fix that, and I'll show you how. If we look here, hopefully you can pick this out. Oops, wrong direction. So it's showing a little gap here. Remember that it is very sensitive. So if you have something like I do here that the stamping is just slightly imperfect, and I'll lift this off to show you. You can see right there that there's like a little light spot where it didn't quite stamp well. All you're going to do, just going to do it right here on the mat. All you're going to do is take a pen and just fill it in. So, and rescan it. Sometimes you might need to rescan it, not a problem. So I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to say back. Yes, it's okay to delete, and we're going to rescan that now that I've fixed it. And go ahead and start. And then I'm also checking my blade here because I think it's time for a new blade. So I will grab a new blade here so we can show you how to do that too.
May, that question always comes up where everyone's like, how often do you have to change your blade? I didn't even know you could change your blade. All those questions. So I'm glad you're going to be doing that.
Yeah, and you know, the blade comes up. So there is the blade. I just had to get the box out to make sure we had the right one there. So the blade, it's always, the answer is always, it depends. So all you do to change it is just twist this. And you just want to be very careful. When you open it up, this little tip, the little blade piece just pops right out. And I can see that mine is fairly dusty, which is not a surprise. This gets a lot of use from a lot of materials. So I will just take a little, just to wipe off any dust that I've got there. And the new blade is super easy too. So the way that it goes, it depends. What materials are you cutting? How often are you cutting? How much are you cutting is going to determine, and it's just as easy. There's the hole, you just set it there and it pops right in and you close it back up. That's it. And you can, to see the blade, you can open up to see it. And then the little carriage is right there where you just pop it in and press down or press up to lift it out. So in my case, I've been noticing sometimes at a sharp corner, it will kind of not tear exactly, but kind of rumple up paper. And I'm also noticing sometimes I'm having to cut vinyl twice because it's not quite cutting sharp enough. And those kind of clues are when I know, okay, I might want to replace my blade. Okay, so now here we can see, I can already see that the line closing worked. If you wonder why we pull in, you can see how there are different lines that are kind of like the edges of the paper sometimes show up as if they are part and they are not. So it can help to pull this in just because then it excludes them. Okay. And I'll click preview and it's showing everybody's cutting out. And I'm going to say, okay. And now we've got a few more questions here. So do I want an outline distance? This means from the line, do I want it to cut directly on the line? Now remember, it's going to cut directly on the line, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be perfectly even on all four sides, depending on your line thickness, depending on how it read that. So some instances that's good. You can also cut inside the line when the line is there just to help the machine along. And we'll do a pretend example of what we would do that for after this. So you can cut inside the line, outside the line, and then however much you want to cut out. So typically the first measure, 0.04, is what I like to do. And I think these are all a good example of that. And I'll say, okay. And it's only going to take probably 1 minute here to cut. So I'm going to select cut. And sticker paper, just like vinyl, we want to make sure on this tool, whoop, too far. Half cut is turned on. This will cut, same as vinyl, it'll cut the sticker material, not the backing sheet. And I'm going to say, okay, now it depends on if you care. If you want the whole thing cut out, that's fine. Just remember, if you do it that way, you're going to end up, when you try to remove the sticker, if we cut all the way through, if I try to remove the sticker here, it's very easy because all the rest of the material is still sticking to the backing. It's not the whole thing. If I was trying to go to the edge, I would have to try to lift this edge, right? So I'm going to end up probably, I mean, there's other ways, of course, but I'm probably going to end up kind of bending one corner or one spot. And that's not ideal if you want your whole sticker to look nice. So the half cut is really useful for that. And I've got our sheet and it'll look like nothing happened. But but we can see when we go to take our sticker, there it is. Now, remember too, when you get different materials, sometimes like I'm looking at this, and it could be that this sticker material sticks a little extra. It's kind of a different feel of material. It's not like it's extra sticky. So if that happens, and if you've worked with vinyl, you've probably come across this where maybe it's a little extra sticky, or maybe there's like different layers or different types of materials layered together. And sometimes when you've got that, what can happen is that it can just kind of not come off as nice. And if that's the case, you just want to be aware of it and sort of work around, okay, this is what I've got. It doesn't come off the sticker sheet as nice, or the vinyl sheet is nice because it is, has all these different things. You just want to be aware of that to help yourself sort out what your next steps are. Now, this one says sticker because I went and printed on the wrong side. Excuse me. Now, we talked about, what if you had an image that you wanted to cut around to make your own sticker, but it's not a clear outline? What we would do for that, and I will show you one here. Let me just grab a good one. All right, we're going to grab the first one I could see. So this is a stamp that's a dragon, and he's got a pretty clear line, but what if you don't want it all to cut out separate? So like that little ball there in the middle, what if you don't want that to cut separate from that, and so on and so forth? What you can do, or that's a good example actually, what if when you stamp, parts of it are a little light, or you're worried that it's going to read in a way that's not really going to work out well? Well, this one is so close to a circle that I would really honestly just cut a circle around it. I think that would probably be the very best bet, and I will show you how to do that. Really, what you're trying to think about is, okay, well, if I've got this design and I want it to see the outline, like what's the easiest way for me to give the machine the information that I want to cut this outline? So here's a butterfly, and it has a bunch of open areas that I want to stay open. I don't want to have to seal up the butterfly. But of course, I have to, right, to get it to scan. So we'll use this one as our example for how I'll do this. Or perhaps with the antenna, maybe I want the antenna not to have a separation in between them. So what I will do is just quite simply just draw my own line. Okay. And in this case, I'm leaving a little bit of distance here between my line and the stamp. And I'm not trying to be perfect with how I follow this, but I am trying to be fairly even in how much space there is. Okay. So that's option one. This one I'm going to show you a different way. And then option number 3 is, let's see, we've got our calendar, and let's say it says, it has a bunch of meetings listed out here that are now not happening, and you didn't use an erasable pen. This is another great use for a sticker here. So I want 3 inches, 2.5, I think. Let's see, 1.5. It's almost 3, so we're going to do 2 3/4. Okay, so we're going to do three different things here with this one sheet. And I will show you that. And for those who are wondering, okay, but could I just do like a whole sheet of all the same or batch produce? Absolutely. The only reason we're not doing that here today is because I want to be able to, in a short amount of time, show you a bunch of different options of things you could possibly do. And actually, I just realized we've got 4 more to see, so we'll do all 4 here on this sheet. So first, we're going to go home, and we'll start with the dragon. So the dragon, we're just going to select a circle, And it always amazes me. We have so many different ways that we can use this scan and cut and this tool to get so many wonderful results of things we're trying to do. So I'm scanning the mat in to see the dragon. Remember, I said it was so close to a circle that I was betting a circle would actually be the best way. So whatever you might have, you have information for a jar because you're canning, you have a stamped image, whatever it is, if you're trying to fit it inside of a set shape or a common shape, you can just do this. So now we're just going to kind of move it to around the center, and then we're going to edit. So the scan and cut doesn't know I'm trying to make a sticker. It doesn't care. It just knows I'm asking it to cut a circle, and by scanning the mat, I'm letting myself see very clearly where that is. And I'm just going to bring this in as close as I can, and then what I'll do is here, this little button, this lets you kind of bump it over or bump it around closely. So I am going to zoom way in here just so I can see, did I get everything inside? I think I did. Yes, I did. But making sure I fit everything inside really nicely. Okay. And okay, so I can go ahead and cut this like so. I'll show you. It's just gonna, so it's just, so the machine also doesn't understand. I have 4 different things I have planned here on this one sheet. It doesn't know, it doesn't care. It'll just do what we tell it. So I always say, you know, you can get a lot of things done off of one sheet. I'm just going to see if I feel like that cut really well. I know I've got a new blade, but this is kind of a, it's just kind of a funky paper, guys. And you know what? Sometimes they are. So sometimes if I've got a material like this, that the material itself is like, has a, I don't know how to, you guys probably know, you probably experienced this where like a material's maybe a little tougher, or I don't know, it's made of a little different kind of stuff that resists being cut. That's not just smooth cutting. Sometimes just letting it cut a second time ensures that it gets everything through. Okay, so we've got 3 more to look at, right? So that was, I've got a shape that I just want a basic shape around. We can also cut like for the planner here. So for the planner, I want a rectangle. And by pushing this button, I can change. So I think I said, yeah, 175 and 275. So I can make it the exact height and width that I want. Okay. And I can still see my map because I have not deleted what I was doing there. So I just need this to go below. And I'm also going to add, for something else to show you here, we're going to add, and let's see, we'll add a scallop shape here. And I don't need it that big. Okay. And I'm going to cut that down here. Again, I can see everything going on, so I can work all around. Okay, and we're going to cut those out. So those are going to be 2 different things to show you. There's just so, I mean, I always, with this machine, every time I think I've got it, there's another one. Now that 4th one, that scalloped oval that I just cut, or am cutting, I suppose is more accurate. You can also cut a shape without anything on it, and then do some coloring, some stamping, whatever it is that you're thinking you would like to have. You just wish you had a basic sticker first. I would recommend, like, this is matte material, matte finish material. I think I would recommend that the most, just because I think it's easier to work on, but you certainly have options. Okay, and since it was a little stick, the material itself has like a funny middle layer there. I think this is waterproof, and I think that's a little different than others. I'll just recut those because it's less than a minute, and I would rather just do it and not have to get in there and trim or tear or anything else like that. And I think that that's important too, just when you're working with stuff, stop, test, keep it on the mat, see how you're feeling about it. And remember, you can't hurt anything to recut if you've got a stubborn material. So I'm seeing those. Well, let's see. Okay. And as I'm looking here, I also see that I went off the edge. So this one is done. This one has been, I'm going to go into edit. That one's been cut, so that's fine. Oh, actually, hang on. We're going to move this one first. And the reason I'm going to move this one first is I should be able to see it a little better. Let's see. It should be right there. We'll be fine. Then I'm going to delete this one just so I know. Excuse me. Just so I know I'm not cutting on top of it. So what happened was I don't have a great view of the scan. You have a great view of the scan cut. I don't have as great of a view because mine is at an angle. And I forgot to think about where the edge of the paper is. So I cut off the edge of the paper. So we're just going to recut this like that didn't happen. Okay. So we'll just recut that. And then we'll show you the fourth one. Then we'll put them all together, pull them all off. I think this is so much fun. And not this one that's recutting now, but the fourth idea here, if you like to watercolor or paint, or you want to cut, like make a little sticker that's hand painted in some way, it'd be a great way to do it. This last one, because you can just draw a line around anything and then you can cut so that the line doesn't show up. And if you're having trouble visualizing that, I understand, but just give me 1 second here. Okay, there it goes. We will go back to home, scan, direct cut, and scan. And we're ignoring everything now except our fourth image, which is the butterfly that I stamped there for you. Okay, here it comes. So this, we're just saying okay, and then we are ignoring everything. We don't want to talk about anything except that one little butterfly. So I'm just pulling this way in. Okay. And we can see that it's a solid little butterfly line. Okay. Now, when we go to do this, I'm going to do the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to do 0.03 negative, which means it's cutting inside of the line. And we're going to let that cut, and it'll only take a second. We're going to let that cut there. So all of this works, whatever kind of label paper, sticker paper, and you could do big, you could do small. I was saying I love my P-Touch, but sometimes if I want it bigger or I have something maybe I want to print out from the computer, fonts, words, we could certainly print all of that out and then make our labels or our stickers from that. Okay, I'm going to recut this one too, just because I don't trust this paper. And you know what? If you don't trust the paper, the Scan and Cut I trust to do its job. But if your paper is sticky or being funky and you don't quite trust it, just recut. Just give it a recut. Can't hurt anything, but could help you out a lot and save you some fuss. So there we go. We'll pull everybody off. Nope. Oh, right. Okay. Sorry there, Matt. Okay. So push this back out of our way. All right. So let's start here, because this is where I was saying it could be absolutely anything. It could be watercolor. It could be very freeform, but you want a certain shape. Cut around and you draw yourself. And then, and you can experiment with how much inside the line or outside the line you want it to cut. There we go. I just have to try to get the edge there. So you see how it leaves the line behind because I had it cut inside the line. And it's sticking just a tiny bit there, but it cut fine. It just got a little sticky on. So we're leaving our line entirely intact. And all we're going to have is our butterfly or our wildflowers that we painted or drew or whatever else we maybe made. we would have it right there. And I'm just going to, yeah, this stuff is tough. Look, it doesn't tear. It doesn't tear. So just remember that. I always tell people, like, just remember it's know your material, but also it's okay if something, you know, doesn't quite work the way you hoped. You might just need to adjust your approach. It's okay. All right, so there's our sticker. So our sticker can stay there. And then going back here to the beginning, remember we had this one that I just used a circle that was already in the machine to cut. So you can pick a pre-made shape, and whatever art you have, whether it's stamped, printed from the computer, you know, whatever it might be that you've got, you can use it. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, it just makes it a lot easier to stick stickers back down on the paper. Okay, and then we have our planner sticker down here. And you see how the half cut makes it so easy, where we're just popping things off. So easy. So remember, there was my messed up Tuesday that I wasn't quite happy with. I'm going to line it up to this corner here that I can just plop on down. And okay, so I probably should have cut it a little shorter because I didn't think about the Tuesday. I was measuring the full line. But you get the idea. We can make, if you're a planner type person, you can make your own custom square or rectangle or whatever shape your planner is, so that if you have a whoopsie, if you have a mistake, you can get right in there, correct it, cover it up, whatever needs to be done. And this is a very thin looking sticker. It's kind of like semi-translucent because I can see the lines through. There are sticker papers that are made so that they can't be seen through. They have, most of them have like almost like a gray or a silver background, so you can't see through it. So you can do stuff like that if you're a planner person and if you make a lot of messes in there. Oh, that's right. And we still have our fourth one. We still have our scalloped oval here. So for the scalloped oval, we'll do something a little bit different. I'm just grabbing a purple and a blue ink pad here so we can make some pretty colors. And we'll make some pretty flowers here. So this could be anything. We could put anything on there that we wanted. Absolutely whatever you like. I'm going to show you just, oops, wrong side. That's okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of ink here and a stamp. That's just a text stamp. And then with a different color. And it's just whatever ink you've got. Doesn't have to be special. With a different color, I'm going to put a flower here. I could put a couple flowers if I want to. Put some flowers. And then I could handwrite something. I could type. I mean, I could put whatever, you know, whatever it is you've got. You want to type something. You want to handwrite something. You want to print something. You have stickers. You want to use the scan and cut draw function. I mean, you really have all your options. I'm going to treat this like it's going to be maybe a gift tag or something. So I'm just going to stamp a sentiment. So you can do however much, whatever it is that you want to do. And then when you peel it off, you've already got the pre-cut size. So you're going to see whatever you didn't use will be here. And remember with the scan and cut, we could scan and reuse all of this space because as these stickers are cut out, this will register in the machine. We can keep cutting out little stickers all around, however many that we want. And I showed you before, that is what I did here. I was going to fill this up with candies and treats as a gift. Isn't that cute?
That's super cute.
And I figured, especially with fall approaching and the holiday craft, all the holiday madness and all the crafting and all the gift making, gift giving approaching, there's so many ways that we can use this aspect of the scan and cut to get more out of our tools, right? Make even more things work from that one machine.
So true. So Anne had a good idea. She said she'd love to take some old calendars and use stickers to change the dates. That's a good idea. I actually have a calendar that my sister gave me with like pictures of all of her kids, which is so cute. And it's like, I don't want to throw it away. And that's a great idea.
That's a fantastic idea. And you could print, if you know what font size, you could print all the numbers out And then the whatever set size square it is or circle, whatever shape it is around, you can just put those all in there. Oh yeah, that's a great one.
That's a great idea. There was one more question for you. I think it was from D. Yeah, D said, do you make your own offset then? This would have been way back, way back.
Make
D,
your
what part put that
own
in? 'Cause you did
offset. I
make your
think
own.
I'm guessing that you mean when I select how do I want it to set? How do I want it on the line, inside the line, outside the line? And yes, right there in the screen where you saw me push the little circle button and adjust up and down, that's where you select are you inside or outside the line? What are we doing here? You have full control over that.
Perfect. Everybody's saying this is so much fun. Oh, Stephanie says, I wish I could do stickers in color. Can you use the pen that comes with the Scan and Cut? That's a good question.
You should be able to. The only thing I would tell you with that is it's like everything. You just want to make sure to test the Scan and Cut pen with the material that you have in mind and make sure they're compatible. But we have to do that with all of our materials and all of our tools. It's just making sure that, for example, if you have a high gloss, like a photo paper or a really high gloss paper that like repels ink, that's going to maybe be more troublesome than this is a very matte finish paper that's very accepting to all of my inks and all of my doodles with whatever pen I grab. So you'll just want to make sure on the paper end that you get a paper that's going to accept it.
Very cool. Yeah, because the matte would be, it would keep the color. A shiny one would be like marker all over.
Yeah, there are some shiny ones that are made to take ink or certain inks. Like I said, if you can, you want to test it or just pick one that you're seeing like reviews on that are saying, everybody's saying, yes, this works this way. Yes, this works for this. Then you're going to be better. You're going to be better off and happier too.
Absolutely. May, this was such a fun project.
Right. And there's so many things we can do. There's so many different ways that you can take this or make it useful to you. And I know someone was asking me, I forget do you have this in your craft room? I'm like, no, it's very single use and I would use it once a year. So no, that's not here, but something like the Scan and Cut where, we just every week or every month, we keep coming up with, I say every week because I use it every week. There's always different stuff that we can do with it and different ways we can use it in our crafting projects, in our gifting, but also practical stuff like the calendar. That's such a great idea for the calendar, repurposing a calendar. And so many ways I use it to like upcycle all the little bits and pieces. Like this won't have to be, this won't have to be trash. I can see where I used it and I can keep on making more stickers all around that.
That's fantastic. I love that. So I'm actually drinking out of my Santa cup because it's after July and I'm trying to remind myself to start getting things ready for the holidays for gifts. And I have a ton of birthdays coming up. That sticker idea would be perfect. Put their name on it, right on the package.
There was one year where I did like with the one that I stamped all over, but I wrote the gift recipient's name, and then as I sealed the package, on the back of the package, stuck that sticker on the back, so I knew it was labeled for them and shipped off, and it couldn't fall off or unstick. It was a sticker on the gift wrap, so that worked really well. So many things we can do.
Oh, Vicky says, hey, Stephanie, there's a sticker kit. It's not a Brother product, but I didn't even know they had a sticker kit for calendars. Barbara Jones says, what about full page inkjet stickers? What do you think about that?
If you mean full page by, like what we're doing here, where there's lots of different designs, but maybe they're all the same, or it's a full sheet used. Yeah, it's no different than what you saw me do today.
Oh, I have some of those that I don't use anymore. They were like a certain size. I could maybe put stuff inside. Oh, that was a good idea, Barbara.
Yeah, or like I've seen like SVG files that are like fancy labels, like the edges, they could be color. They don't have to be black and white. They could be color. So if you had fancy label that like a cut file that you want to print however many times, a full sheet or just once, whatever you like. Absolutely.
Awesome. Everyone's saying thank you for a great show. Another great show. May, this was super fun. Great ideas. Oops, I took the wrong. I meant to take your Scan and Cut out and I took you out. Sorry about that. All right, everyone. If you work on anything for Brother, Use hashtag Brother Scan and Cut, hashtag Brother Sews. They love to see what you're working on. And the countdown begins. Let's see, May. Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 more days till everyone can see a lot of the new products coming out. They're going to be very excited. Oh, that's going to
be here in a blink. And what good timing, because next week is the start of the school year here too. So new products, new school year, all kinds of fun stuff.
All kinds of new stuff. So those of you that don't know, let me bring May's website up for you. And Brother, they have 2 blogs, a sewing blog and a crafting blog. We just find that here. There you go. So you can go to brothersews.com. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, there's both blogs. Click on it. There's a ton of stuff in there. Free stuff. Don't forget about Artspira. A lot of fun stuff on there. Totally free. And you can find May at mayflaum.com and myself at angelawolf.com. It is so great to see you all. May, it's awesome to see you. I was laughing. We always match. And we don't match today necessarily, but it looks like you, I, and Shirley decided to go the print route today. So we do kind of match.
Floral. Are you floral? Yes. Yes, a little floral print.
I'm just a mess. Like it kind of looks like paint splattered.
Well, give me a couple more hours, and I'm sure my hands will be paint splattered in here. So we'll match in that way.
Definitely. One quick question for you, Mary Lou. Is there a waterproof or weatherproof vinyl stickers for kids' water bottles or car windows?
Yeah. You name it, and the material is out there. Just do a search online, and you will find so many different ones.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, May, until next month, it is great to see you. And everyone else, I will see you if you join my live show tomorrow at 1:30 on my page, or on Thursday at noon. Emily's making, I can't remember what, but it's Emily Thompson joining us. I think it's a zippered pouch for back to school. I knew it was back to school something, May.
Oh, so that's a good one. I need that one.
Yeah, and then make stickers and to put on top of it. So
there you go.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Brother, thanks for letting your brand ambassadors take over your page in May. Until next time, happy crafting.
It's been great. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Bye.